you touched your knee to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. 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 News.
Good evening. Fire, bats, some bones, a judge, and mayonnaise. Tonight on Nailsin News. Hello, I'm Mr. Nailsin. That's right. So we'll get right to it, I suppose. First, Swift -1 reminds me that the turquoise Terson is waving. Yes. All right. Here we go. This is a little something. Jesus, so bad. 24-year-old Australian woman set friend on fire for making misogynistic remark. Oh boy. Here she is. Do you think there was a clue as to what she's about? The eyes, those teeth, gee. Oh man. Yeah, an Australian woman allegedly lit her longtime friend on fire because he made a misogynistic remark during a wild night party. Corby Jean Walpole or Wapole, maybe Walpole, 24, pled guilty in an Albury District Court to the arson attack on Jake Loader, 23, saying she felt overwhelmed by his antagonistic behavior throughout the night before she was finally set off by a sexist remark he made during a house party in New South Wales last year. So, of course, set him on fire. He said something you didn't like. It all makes sense now. Louder told Wapley she should stay in the kitchen making scones. Oh my God. Well, barbecue him immediately. If she couldn't handle drinking with the boys, which sent the 24-year-old into a rage, she grabbed a gallon of gasoline from the garage and doused Loader with the flammable substance, waving a lighter at him threateningly. Go on, do it, Loader. Oh boy, well, yeah, Loader yelled at his friend who was drunk and had consumed cocaine, she confessed. Yeah, so that said, hey, I was stoned and drunk. Wapley then touched him with the lighter, setting Louder ablaze. Loader sustained burns to 55% of his body and had some of his sweat glands burned off. He was put in a medically induced coma for 8 days after the attack. He required 10 operations and spent 74 days in a burn unit at a Melbourne hospital. So there's Loader in happier times. That's probably not the picture of him as he is today. The friend cannot step outside into the sun because of the extensive epidermal damage. That's skin. Wapley told the court that she had been abusing drugs and alcohol since a breakup in 2022 and regretted the heartless act. The firebug claimed during the trial that she was pushed to the edge by Loader, who tried to wrestle with her and was being continuously antagonistic throughout the night. So she'll pour him in gasoline and set him on fire. To this day, I feel horrible, remorseful, guilty for what I've done to Jake. Not only Jake, but his family, his loved ones, his mutual friends, anyone who has been impacted in this entire case. Yeah, jeez, what, it's all jagged. Oh boy. I find it very hard to believe the injuries that were caused was from my doing. Well, it was. You did it. I would do anything to go back in time so you could do it again. She pled guilty to one charge of burning or maiming by using corrosive fluid. Wopley is due back in court later this month. Gee, I wonder what she'll get. You know. Well, she was dealing with some issues. She broke up with her boyfriend. She turned to booze and drugs. And this guy just was just being an asshole and a misogynist. And you never do that to a woman. Let this be a lesson to the rest of you. Yeah, I guess it was a lesson for Loader. Yeah. Oh, wow, he's not there. Look at all the cows. See that one cow? It's like, hey, what's he doing? Jeez. Oh, man. I will burn you. And, well, she's dead. She sure did. So, I guess the friendship's over by now because, well, she burnt that bridge. Oh, jeez. Oops. There we go. Hey, get. Oh, why is it all small? Let's fix it. There. It's better. Oh my goodness. Swift minus one. What? Swift minus one. Whoops. Yeah, I don't think it was a whoopsie. I don't think she accidentally poured gasoline on him. I don't think she accidentally lit the lighter. Yeah. But then again, it could be that it was the struggle, like he grabbed for it, and then there you go. But you're covered in gasoline. Of course, they were probably both, drunk and stoned, not just her. Could be something like that. Anyway, Susan Dolan says hi. Hi, Susan. Swift minus one says hello to Susan too. There we are. We're all caught up. So, God, what an evil bitch. I'm going through things, and he said, like, go back to the kitchen or some crap. Now you know what happens in kitchens. Things get very heated and cooked and often burned. Yeah. Oh well. Well, there's a lesson there somewhere, isn't it? Well, just don't don't set people on fire. That's the main thing. You can just remember that part. Hey, you're probably good. But what's her name? She didn't really learn anything, I don't think. Well, she says she's all upset and sad. Now she feels terrible, but I'm betting she doesn't feel as bad as Loader there. You know, can't go outside because when the sunlight hits him, he's in absolute agony. Yeah, yeah. Because those nerve endings throughout his skin are all raw now. Yeah. That's permanent. Yeah. Yeah. Because he said, "Hey, why don't you go to the kitchen and make me a sandwich?" Wow. Hmm. Boy, those eyes and those teeth. I guess should have seen it coming, huh? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oh well. Then I saw off in the margin of this little story, and I just couldn't help it. I had to take a look. So, ex-flight attendant caught smuggling 100 pounds of deadly new drug made of human bones faces decades in prison. Oh my God! Look how many comments. Oh, that's the devil there. So yeah, she's in trouble. Former flight attendant smuggling 100 pounds of deadly synthetic drug made of human bones faces up to 25 years in a Sri Lankan prison. Oh, good Lord. You're off in the third world or what have you. Anyway, Charlotte May Lee, 21, from the United Kingdom, was seized at Bandaranaike Airport in the Sri Lankan capital of Colombo. Oh wow, Colombo. Is that? I thought he was Italian. Earlier this month, after allegedly carrying suitcases full of Kush, a new drug originating in West Africa, which kills an estimated dozen people a week in Sierra Leone alone. Lee from South London claimed the drug stash, which has a reported street value of $3.3 million, was planted in her suitcases without her knowledge. Well, there you go. See? Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah. Let's just take her story at face value. Yeah, poor girl. She was taken advantage of. She's too pretty to lock up. Yeah, what a nice rack. That is nice. Yeah. Damn it, this is going to be a sad story. She is being held in harsh conditions, I'll bet, in a jail north of Colombo, where she has to sleep on a concrete floor, said, Sam Path Piera is her lawyer. She's been in contact with her family. Said, hey, I got to get out of here. The haul, made on May 12th, is the biggest seizure of the relatively new drug in Sri Lankan history. Customs officers posed proudly with the stash, which could land Lee a 25-year prison sentence if she is found guilty of smuggling. Lee had been working in Thailand when she was forced to leave because of her 30-day visa was due to run out. So she decided to take a 3-hour tour flight to Sri Lanka while she waited for the renewal of her Thai visa. Oh, there she is in the flight attendant outfit. That's cute. Yeah. She's like, look at me. And I'm like, I'm looking. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I had never seen the drugs before. I didn't expect it all when they pulled me over at the airport. I thought it was going to be filled with all my stuff, said Lee to the Daily Mail. She also implied she knew who had planted the drugs in her suitcases, but wouldn't name them. Well, all right. Come on. Oh my goodness, you thought this was your clothes. Yeah. Holy crap. Look at that. Jeez. It's not looking good for Lee. They must have planted it then, she said. I know who did it. All right, who? I can't talk about that. We're not close. Kush, which is most popular with young men, so is that, can cause individuals to fall asleep while walking. Oh, jeez. Collapse unexpectedly. Well, yeah, if you fall asleep while walking, you're more than likely going to collapse and even wander into moving traffic. Well, if you've collapsed before you get into the traffic, you should be all right unless you hit your head on the way down. But was it like sleepwalking? You just keep walking and you fall asleep while walking. Maybe that's what point they're making, and then you just walk right into traffic. Good lord. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. One of the drug's many ingredients, a lot of ingredients, is reportedly human bones, and the insatiable desire for the substance has even led to ghoulish grave robbers raiding cemeteries in Sierra Leone. Got to get those bones. The country's president declared a state of emergency over abuse of Kush last year, while security has reportedly been tightened in graveyards to stop the digging up of skeletons. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she's just falling out of that. Yeah, that's great. Anyway, branding Kush a death trap, Sierra Leone's President Julius Matabayo said the drug posed an existential crisis to his nation. Lee flew out of Bangkok around the same time as another young British woman now facing drug smuggling charges. Oh, yeah? We'll take a look at her later. Oh wow, that's cute. Look at that. That is nice. Oh yeah. See, even the plane, it's winking at her. It's like, yeah, giggle. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Bella Cooley or Cully from County Durham, Northeast England, was arrested in the former Soviet nation of Georgia on May 10th after allegedly flying to the capital, Tbilisi, via the United Arab Emirates with more than 30 pounds of marijuana and hashish in her luggage. Well, that's not nearly as serious as this Kush stuff. She is accused of illegally purchasing and storing a particularly large amount of narcotics, illegally purchasing and storing the narcotic drug marijuana, and illegally importing it into Georgia. The country's Ministry of Internal Affairs is that the other girl, or is this? Oh, it says Lee. Well, that's her kitty cat. She's wearing the Palestinian, cloth. Yeah, that takes down a few points. Sri Lankan authorities have warned of a huge increase in drugs arriving in the country via Bangkok. Another passenger who had left Bangkok airport almost at the same time was arrested in another country. Boy, Bangkok is just Kush Central, huh? Or I suppose multiple narcotics. Something like that. Anyway, we arrested this lady, Lee, based on profiling. Senior Sri Lanka Customs. So hot chicks coming out of Bangkok, they're like, all right, we're going to have to frisk her. You know? And lo and behold, holy crap, look, she's got tons of this stuff. This has been a rule nuisance, he added, referring to the rule nuisance. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's sad, Yeah, she's really cute. But, yeah, she's going to be doing damn near 30 years in a Sri Lankan prison. What a waste, huh? What a waste. Jeez, that was crappy names. Well, that's too bad. She should have stuck to flying high rather than getting high. Yeah, it's not good. It's terrible. I'm all broken up and sad because she's cute. All right. Bell says, "Hey everyone." A. Thompson says, "Mike is weird." All right. Let me go look at it. Oh crap! Why did it switch to that? Damn it! This whole thing has been wrong. You bastard! Damn it, Evie Mux! Why do you do that? I just got off Pat's show. Did it sound like that on that one? That's two stories I can't use now. When I edit these later, I have to redo them. Now I'm all pissed. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Pell, I just got in. Don't know what she did, but I see two pieces of evidence that proves she's not guilty. Yeah, let's just go with that, I mean, she won't say, I know who planted those on me. And you're like, okay, who? I can't tell you. Oh, damn it. Because I was hoping there was a way out for her, Oh, my God, she's so cute. But she's in the hole now, Swift Midas One says, yo. Susan Dolan says hi again to Pell. Pell says hi. Hey, Thompson, it happens every day here. People getting caught with dope. It's death penalty. Yeah, apparently. Susan says she's doing good. Spurg Snake, good night, gang. Behave yourselves. Well, yeah, don't go smuggling drugs into Sri Lanka, Hey, Thompson, I showed the king Karmic's live stream. Now marijuana is going illegal again here, thankfully. Oh, you're king? He said, hey, look what it does to people. He's like, all right, it's illegal again. Pell. Oh, Spurg, leaving? Take care, man. See, oh, is that what he, okay, yeah, good night, Spurg. Have a good night. Hey, Thompson, we are putting a 2,000% tariff on Crown Royal also. Yeah, you can't blame everything on Crown Royal, you know. Spurg Snake, salute, Pell, see you laters. Have a good night, Spurg. Pell salute Spurg. Pell says, not guilty. I know, not guilty by reason of hotness. And she's in her little outfit there. Yeah, I could not be an unbiased, impartial juror on that one. I just like, look, it's their fault for taking this stuff. She just brought it. She didn't have to buy it and ingest it, you know. It's on them. Hey, Thompson, 30 pounds is a weekend at Carmex. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. You think Carmex would do the kush? You think he, well, he practically does kind of like, he sleep streams, maybe. He'd still be in the chair, but he's just streaming. That's why he can have plausible deniability. I don't know what happened. Susan Dolan, Hellsburg Snake, behave. Well, I guess I have to, as I'm without spare time, spare cash, and a member of the opposite sex. Oh, that's a sad situation to be in. Just like me. Hey, Thompson, they are going to make marijuana illegal again here by next year. Well, that's interesting, you know, because you figure once something's legalized, you're pretty much stuck that way. But, well, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Hey, Thompson, it's not the mic you think it is. Yeah, it wasn't. It was, I guess, the regular that went off the camera or something. It's like, what the hell? Pell L, Susan Dolan, I hear you. I'm in the same situation. They say if you don't have health, you don't have anything. But sometimes you can still get annoyed by crap. That's what crap does. It's often annoying. Hey, Thompson, it sounds great now. Yeah, it's the right mic. It just, the settings, just, I don't know. It's like it defaulted to that. Was it like that this morning? Because I was using EV Mux on there. I don't know why it does this to me. Pell out, Doug came in from the tunnel, LOL. Yeah. Pell out, Karmic can blame everything on it. Yeah, he could, I suppose. He'd say, oh, I was doing the kush because this hot flight attendant gave it to me. Well, what was I going to do? Tell her no? And now look what it did. Ah, jeez. That's too bad, Karmic, but I guess we all learned a powerful lesson, blah, 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 and everything will be fine. Swifts -1 4 basketballs. Hey, Thompson, when Doug's mic works, it works well. I'd like to think so, yes. Susan Dolan, didn't the airport have drug-sniffing dogs? I guess, I would assume. Of course, they said they profiled her. So they said, all right, let's take a look at your stuff. And after they checked all her stuff out, then they looked at her luggage. Hey, Thompson, it's not marijuana anymore. I don't know what they made in a lab. It's too powerful, and they have these edibles, and they make it look like candy. Oh, yeah, it's a sinister plot, you know? Pell, when you were on Pat's a few hours ago, you sounded fine. All right, so for whatever reason, it just switched. Yet another thing I'm going to have to constantly check when I try to do a live stream through EV Mux. Saint Ranger says number 7 arrives. Huh. And he says, howdy, Doug. Howdy, Saint Ranger. Hey, Thompson, when they first make it legal here, the major grocery store had marijuana-laced soda on the shelf. Wow. I bought one. It wasn't labeled.
and it was terrifyingly strong. Was it carbonated? Hey, Thompson. Doug Pat said you are gigantic. How tall a man are you? I'm just 6'3". And, I'm a little bit taller than him, but I don't know. I didn't think it was. Sanger says, all hail. I think he's saying hello to everybody. All right. What's the, oh yeah, the flight, I just did the flight attendant story. It was just so sad. Oh no, this is the other woman, huh? No? Ah, is this it? God, these ads. Let me read the, went missing. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll take a look at her story. Similar thing. She wasn't a flight attendant or anything. So she's not as cool as the first chick. But still, she's in trouble. Not that kind of trouble. Legal trouble. Yeah, yeah. Student who went missing in Thailand turns up accused of smuggling 30 pounds of cannabis and claims to be pregnant. Oh, she is in that kind of trouble. All right, well, there she is. Yeah, not bad. A terrified teenager vanished while on vacation in Thailand and has reappeared thousands of miles away, claiming to be pregnant in the former Soviet Union, where she's being held on charges of drug smuggling. Bella May Cully, 18, a nursing student from the UK, appeared in court in Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, a week after vanishing in Southeast Asia. Cully, who previously flaunted her luxurious lifestyle on social media, was allegedly caught carrying 30 pounds of cannabis. See, now this one is more of a case she could probably say, hey, look, it was planted, because it isn't like a whole table full of bags and all that. The teen who had told the court she was pregnant in a hearing on Tuesday is preliminarily detained for 2 months while investigations continue. Her disappearance last week triggered an enormous international search operation. Before she was found, her family had last heard from her on May 3rd. She flew out of the Philippines after Easter with a friend, and she was there for 3 weeks. She was posting loads of pictures and then went to Thailand. Her mother said, yeah. Well, there you go. That's what this says. 30 pounds of cannabis. The last message she sent to me was on a Saturday at 5:30 p.m., saying she was going to FaceTime me later. That was the last message anyone has received from what we can figure out up to now. Her father and sister then flew out to Thailand to try and find her. Wow. I don't know. That could take a while. Anyway, Bella May Cully from County Durham, Northeast England, is now being held in a hellhole ex-Soviet jail. Tbilisi, prison number 5, Georgia's only female prison, the only one, was described as severely overcrowded. Well, you probably need another prison, with conditions that were degrading, inhuman, and an affront to a civilized society. The bathrooms were described as decaying and filthy, while the cells smelled strongly of human sweat, human excrement, and worst of all, cigarette smoke. Well, there she is. Giggle tee hee, giggle. She is currently terrified and confused. If found guilty, Cully could face 15 to 20 years in prison. The fact that she was detained by Crime Pole Special Task Department suggests this wasn't a random search, but a planned operation. And the quantity of drugs found on her makes it hard to remain optimistic. It's a grim situation. But, oh, wait, people have been sentenced to 8 years or more for processing 20 times less in the past decade. Drug offenses are one of the key priorities of the Georgian police. So there she is. She's like, I don't like this. Cully's recent social media posts show her living a life of luxury beyond that of an average nursing student. Well, yeah, including scuba diving and partying on tropical islands in the Philippines. She also flaunted huge stacks of cash. Oh, that's never a good idea. In videos she posted on TikTok and Instagram. In other videos, she reportedly compared herself to historical criminal couple Bonnie and Clyde. Oh boy. Her father, Neil or Niall, Cully, has traveled from the family's home to be with his daughter. Yeah. Um, I don't know how you're going to get her out. Cully did not answer the judge's questions regarding the allegation and has not entered a plea. My client is currently exercising the right to remain silent. Oh, they got that over there. So we will provide detailed information later once they decide how to proceed. Oh. Well, doesn't look good for Cully either. No. But it must. You think they profiled her too? Because now it's just the smugglers are now targeting the hot chicks. And they're like, oh, she's cute. Let's dump our bags of dope on her. I don't know. I really don't. But well, something's going on. Whole lot of smuggling going on in between bikinis. A. Thompson, they are not going to have drug sniffing dogs outbound. Saint Ranger. Thailand executes for drugs sometimes. Thailand, I mean. Well, she's in Georgia at the moment, so she came out of Thailand. So at least she didn't get caught there. Thailand inbound, you're getting sniffed and searched. They don't play around here. Saint Ranger, she is in a hellhole. We can be smoking right now. Where are we? Oh, where we are, you mean? Saint Ranger, can we send her a care package, some joints? I doubt it. I don't think so. Hey, Thompson, overall, stay away from white female tourists here. It's like idiot central. Well, that's probably how this gets started. That's why they're profiling them. Oh, look, another white chick. She's got some dope on her. Say, Ranger, nice pair. Well, yes. Swift -1. When you say it like that, it sounds bad. Being stuck in a hellhole? Saint Ranger, big cash payoff under the table would change it. 500,000 minimum. Yeah, it sounds like her dad's loaded, so he might be able to finagle something anyway. Saint Ranger, nice pair. Can you draw those, Doug? Doug, kidding. Pale bikinis, more like kilos, am I right? We got enough here to stuff your bikini bottom with. No, it was way more than that. So, the lesson here is don't smuggle drugs, especially overseas. You're out of your damn mind you do something like that. Because, yeah, those jail cells will be hellholes. I mean, by comparison, it's almost like a resort over here. So, remember that? What was that? Oh man, Oh, damn it. The guy who killed the girl and Vandersloot. That was, and then he killed another woman in Peru and he ends up in there. Dumbass. Because they were saying like the jail cell was just like 30 guys to a cell and the toilet is just a hole in the middle of the room. Yeah. What a place to get arrested in. Yeah. You're not thinking. But oh well. Oh well. So meanwhile, there's other crimes to be had, besides burning people and smuggling drugs. There's this old time favorite. Florida teacher accused of disturbing sexual misconduct against student, including in classroom, just hours before arrest. She just couldn't stop. Hey, look, she's got the been caught pooping face. Police said the teacher's actions against the student were criminal and calculated. So she was a math teacher, I guess. Florida teacher is accused of engaging in an illicit sexual relationship with a student, with authorities said amounts to a betrayal. On Friday, 27-year-old Brooke Anderson was arrested after allegations of a sexual relationship with a student surfaced. Anderson has been charged with 3 counts of unlawful sexual activity with a minor. Citing book records, People magazine reported that the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office booked Anderson into jail on Friday, and that she was released the following day after a judge set her bail at $45,000 to $15,000 for each of the 3 counts. And blah, blah, blah. Anderson is a science teacher, biology, at Riverview High School. The student allegedly disclosed that the relationship with the teacher began in September 2024. Police said the relationship started with sexually explicit text messages. However, the relationship reportedly escalated to physical encounters in the weeks leading up to the arrest. The student claimed to have had multiple instances of sexual encounters with Anderson. Well, come on, he's probably bragging. It was probably only 1 or 2. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said in a statement, the most recent incident occurred the morning of May 16th inside Anderson's classroom before the start of the school day. Jeez, like on top of her desk. Yeah. Then the bell rings and oh shit. They gotta hurry up, pull their drawers back on. And a few hours after the alleged sexual assault, police arrested Anderson. Well, it was nice of them to wait outside till they were done. Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister stated, this teacher betrayed the trust of a student, a school, and an entire community. What should have been a safe, supportive environment for learning was exploited for abuse. Her actions are criminal, calculated, and deeply disturbing. Well, the investigation is ongoing. Detectives monitored a phone call between the student and teacher on Friday, according to the affidavit obtained by the Tampa Bay Times. During the phone call, Anderson acknowledged the 3 instances. See, I said 3, of sexual encounters. Didn't he say there was more than multiple instances? So he just wanted to, stretch that out, Oh, yeah, I was nailing her a lot. But it was only 3 times. Well, Anderson, let's get to know her. She has worked at Riverview High School since she joined the Hillsborough County Public Schools District in November 2021. A district spokesperson said Anderson passed all required screenings and background checks before being hired. Anderson is no longer listed as a district staff member. Anderson has been suspended, but faces termination pending an investigation's findings. Well, once you get the tape of her saying, yeah, she screwed him 3 times, that should be enough, right? Well, if you have information regarding this case, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office wants to hear from you at 813 247 8200. There you go. And you can help put her behind bars. Right up to the moment the police knocked on the door. Come on. That's the best part. We all know it. It's just hilarious. Were they like banging on the door? This is the police. And he's like, just a minute. A little more. I mean, not just yet. Yeah, probably something like that. You know it. I know it. The American people know it. And now so does the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. St. Ranger, the Vandersloot said he bashed her head in because the Holloway gal pushed him away twice when he was trying to feel her up. He said it in some interview I saw yesterday. Wow, he just now got around to saying, well, all right, here's what happened. Pell, I've only been hearing about it in the last few years, but could be like steroids in baseball. Always there, but just now having the light shone on it. Pell, I only found out that Vandersloot actually fessed up recently within a year. Pell, she's the Bonnie of Bonnie and Clyde, not going out without a fight, dead or alive. Oh, yeah. Those two were, well, not murdered, dude. Well, yeah, I guess kind of. Well, they were ambushed in northern Louisiana. They turned that vehicle into Swiss cheese. And that was the sad end of Bonnie and Clyde. Yeah. I guess that's one way to go out. Oh, well, in the meantime, we got this judge who's just so teary-eyed and upset because apparently she was found out to be a total fraud. But she still wants to go on judging, And, well, who could blame her? What's the headline? Tearful Judge Foxworth Roberts tells Judiciary Commission she takes full ownership for her actions. So this is a local story. Well, it's Baton Rouge, but I mean, Louisiana, So anyway, tears rolled down the face of 19th Judicial District Court Judge Tiffany Foxworth Roberts as she appeared before the Judiciary Commission of Louisiana Friday in a fight to keep her elected spot on the bench. The judge told the commission she takes full ownership and accountability for her actions. She just doesn't want any consequences for it. An earlier hearing by the Office of Special Counsel ended with members of that council recommending she be removed from the bench. After a lengthy hearing in New Orleans, members of the Judiciary Commission ended Friday's session by saying they would consider the evidence and issue their decision in writing, likely within 30 days. Foxworth Roberts is accused of being dishonest about her prior military service during her political campaign advertisements and of being untruthful about an insurance claim for a diamond ring. If the Judiciary Commission ultimately recommends the judge's removal, the final decision would be made by the Louisiana State Supreme Court. Foxworth Roberts told the commission that she has never served in a combat zone and has never served in Iraq, Afghanistan, or Desert Storm, as some of her 2020 campaign advertisements suggested she did. The judge is also accused of failing to respond to OSC investigations in a timely manner as they launched their probe. I could have done better with furnishing more documents in a timely manner, she said. My bad. Leading up to Friday's hearing, the OSC recommended that she be ousted. Oh boy, are they pissed. If you don't respond to them fast enough, that's it, you're done. The OSC recommends the commission recommend to, to the Louisiana Supreme Court that respondent Judge Tiffany Foxworth Roberts be removed from judicial office. Yeah, all right. They already said. In the brief filed with the Judiciary Commission, the OSC said it agrees with the. Oh, God. All right. They want her gone. The evidence was overwhelming that Judge Foxworth Roberts' conduct constituted egregious, unethical conduct, necessitating a severe penalty, wrote Michael Bewers, Assistant Special Counsel to the Judicial Commission of Louisiana. Judge Foxworth Roberts' egregious misconduct, including a severe lack of cooperation, was calculated, deliberate, and in bad faith to further her own self-interests and avoid detection. Her persistent and public conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice that brings the judicial office into dispute more than justifies a recommendation of removal from office. Viewers wrote that Foxworth Roberts made false and misleading statements as investigators questioned her about a burglary during her duty campaign. An anonymous complaint told the commission that Foxworth Roberts allegedly filed a false police report and insurance claim related to that incident. Complaints were also made that the judge allegedly lied about her military rank in newspaper advertisements that described her as a former captain in the U.S. Army. Foxworth Roberts left the U.S. Army Reserves at the lower rank of first lieutenant. Viewers wrote that the judge's rank of captain was a central theme of her campaign for a judgeship. As part of its investigation, the OSC obtained copies of the judge's military records directly from the Army without her cooperation. Well, I guess not. Yeah, these records showed not only was respondent Foxworth Roberts never a captain in the Army, but failed to achieve the rank of captain twice, requiring her separation from the U.S. Army Reserve. So she was a terrible soldier. So, like, she failed to achieve the captain rank, and they're like, look, why don't you just go? And so she did. Judge Foxworth Roberts' egregious misconduct in this matter wasn't anything but an isolated event. Rather, it was rampant and constituted a pattern of misconduct. Viewers noted that the alleged false and misleading campaign ad signs and speeches, like normal, about the judge's military records were particularly embarrassing to the judiciary. The brief also alleges the judge was dishonest and not forthcoming about an insurance claim she made, claiming a $19,000 diamond ring had been stolen from her vehicle. The OSC says the judge tried to hide the fact that she made a claim and attempted to mislead the OSC regarding what losses she actually claimed. There is a fundamental dishonesty which permeates Judge Foxworth Roberts' words and actions throughout every aspect of this case. Such dishonesty simply cannot be allowed to remain a part of Louisiana's honorable judiciary, wrote viewers. Given the magnitude of the misconduct and given Judge Foxworth Roberts' demonstrated indifference, lack of personal responsibility, and lack of appreciation for consequences of her actions, the commission should ultimately conclude that there is no middle ground for redressing Judge Foxworth Roberts' serious and persistent misconduct. Well, yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be ruling out other people, and here she is committing insurance fraud and lying about a military record. One wonders, what else could she be lying about, But the idea of a judge being corrupt and full of crap, that's not too big of a stretch, is it? I mean, who's going to judge the judge? Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Bonnie and Clyde. Hey, Thompson, do we have any updates on Doug's monetization? Nope. A. Thompson. Oh, she was reserves. Yeah, but don't you like serve in the army and then you do some time in the reserves afterwards? Or maybe she she enlisted immediately into the reserves. Yeah. Saint Ranger, hi Pammy. Hi Pam. Pam says hi Saint Ranger. Saint Ranger says, Doug, can you say hi to Pam? We are both watching from different rooms. Thanks. Hi Pam. Hey Thompson, what parish was that? Well, that would be in the Baton Rouge area. I think there's like two that connects there. I wonder if it was Tangipo where all the weird crimes happen. I drove through there, you know. Oh hell no, I was not going to stop there. All kinds of creepy stuff happening in Tangipoa. It's well, what can I say? It's creepy. Hey Thompson, it's just a way to scam the system. I'll call in one day and explain it. Okay. Pam, I am. Have a great evening, Doug, and everyone, says Pam. Well, you too, Pam. Thanks for watching the show. Well, just to show it's not all the girls that are causing trouble out there. We do have one particular idiot, and that'll explain why I have mayonnaise in the title. Yeah. Boy, talk about sometimes you just never know. So you got to be careful when you complain about your order at any of these burger places, you know. Checkers employee climbs through drive-through window, shoots customer dead after dispute over mayonnaise request. He must be a skinny dude because that's a tight window, you know. But he came through it, yeah, at Checkers. Yeah. So anyway, a dispute over mayonnaise led to an employee at Checkers shooting a customer to death outside the fast food joint in Florida. Elijah Mackey, 23, stands accused of first-degree murder in the death of 40-year-old Wesley Robertson. Well, according to the probable cause affidavit, the deputies at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office responded shortly after 10 p.m. on the Wednesday to the Checkers at 5780 West US 192, in case you want to go there, in Kissimmee, for a shooting. Paramedics rushed Robertson to a hospital where doctors pronounced him dead. I wonder if you think, is he already dead in the ambulance, and they bring him up there, and the doctor said, what do you want me to do? He's dead. Witnesses later told detectives Robertson had been complaining to a female employee about his order and requested several times to speak with a manager. One witness told cops the argument was over missing mayonnaise packets. While Robertson stood at the window, Mackey came around to the front of the building and began arguing with him. During the spat, witnesses believed Robertson called Mackey a pussy or a bitch. You might want to figure that out. I mean, I suppose either one, you know. But Mackey allegedly said, I am a pussy, so I guess we're going with pussy. That's what he said. There's a big difference between the pronunciation of pussy and bitch, though. I don't know why there's confusion. Maybe he called him a pussy bitch. And he just said, I'm a pussy. He's not really denying the bitch part. Anyway, he pulled out a gun and shot Robertson in the chest. Good Lord. Well, Mackey ran away, but returned to grab his backpack before fleeing again. Oh, yeah, you kind of want that. Cops later found Mackey hiding under a stairwell at a nearby hotel. He told deputies he had a gun on him and asked, is dude okay? Yeah, see? He was concerned in the end. Video from the Checkers showed Mackey climbing out of a drive-through window and running up to Robertson before shooting him. The defendant was appointed an attorney. He remains in the Osceola, County without bond. A Checkers spokesperson released the following statement. We are shocked and saddened by the incident that occurred last night at our restaurant in Kissimmee, Florida. The actions of this one employee do not reflect the values of the thousands of our hardworking employees across the country. Now, I can assure you, any complaints concerning mayonnaise or French fries or whatever will not be responded to with lethal force. No, that is not at all policy here at Checkers. So I just want that to be clear here. This is some isolated incident, and hey, look, we thought he was normal and stuff. If there was any kind of clue that he would whip a gun out and shoot somebody, we would not have hired him. No. Anyway, we are working closely with the police in their investigation, and we are sending our thoughts and prayers to the guest's family. Yeah, see? It's not their fault. Is there any? Yeah, there it is. Gregory Roberts asks, what is it with certain people and the sauces? He wanted mayonnaise. I don't know why he had to make a big deal about it, but Mackie just got tired of hearing about mayonnaise, I guess. Stephen, my boy, when a leftist receives my love fluids on their tongue, they always say thank you. They say it out of politeness, only to follow it up with their greed by asking for more. Huh. Okay. Rick Imhotep. The guy was right. He was a pussy. Geist von Panzer. Bring out the Hellmans and bring out the best. Yeah. The reasons, Lajaka, whatever, the reasons for sane people from other countries not wishing to visit a violent American society just keep piling up. Okay, great. Don't come here. NZ, but piles of people keep coming, Two wrongs on this one. Arguing with a deranged Checkers employee over mayonnaise packets can only lead to bad things. Worse than actually eating Checkers and their space goo mayonnaise. Rest in peace, Julie Settlers. Stan 8647. I bet he just wanted a Coke and a smile. Stan 8647 over mayonnaise? Yes. Don Saul. The funny thing is that the Nogs use mayo as an... Okay. Okay. White people are racist crackers. You worship hip hop. Okay. I don't mind why. Okay. They're getting into all that crap. So there you go. A fight over mayonnaise. And there's all kinds of ways one's life can end. But I'd hesitate to think that most would never guess that it was going to end over mayonnaise. I know the immediate joke is, you should have requested they hold the mayo. But then again, like the next guy comes in and says, hey, I said hold the mayo. And then he gets shot too, because it's all about the complaints and the high stress of the job at Checkers. But again, shooting the customers is not policy at Checkers. That's important. Just want to make sure that's clear. St. Ranger says, Doug is a great host and good sport. Well, I tried to be, Hey, Thompson, so you went to Jackson instead? Jackson. Pam, I live in Bossier City, Louisiana. Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Hey, Thompson, this is what I was telling Pat. Once a week, he needs to do a restaurant review where he breaks down all these fast food brawls. Like, what's the best place to have one? What's one that's the most likely to have one? St. Ranger, our daily reality is like a Mad Magazine joke from the 1950s. Afraid so. It's possible that Mad Magazine was a work of prophecy. Pam I Am says, hey, Pella, hopefully you had a nice weekend. A Thompson, yeah, I was relocated for work. I'm happy about it every time I watch these stories. I don't know. Do you have a Checkers? A Thompson, I've never eaten at a Checkers. Okay, well, then you escaped that one. But I don't know. People can ask for mayonnaise at McDonald's, can't they? So it could have happened there. You just never know. But that's true of everything, I suppose. Pele says, I did, Pam, thanks. Finding getting warm here again. Heat was on a few times last week. Wow. Hey, Thompson, Doug Carmick is going drinking again tomorrow night. I apologize in advance to you, Pat and Taz. Yeah, well, I'll never know. Hey, Thompson, you can get killed over shoes, and now Mayo. Yeah, I remember that. They were murdering people for like Air Jordans and stuff. But now mayonnaise, you know. I mean, it's a food product of a sort, so I guess that's makes it a little more significant than a pair of shoes. Pellel, he is? I saw him earlier today or yesterday. Didn't seem drunk, but he was going off with his ego rants, talking how no one wants to mess with him, etc. Yeah. Hey, Dom says, is Checkers good for the most part? It's yeah. I mean, it's hamburgers. Yeah. Pellel looks like Malcolm Triple X. I wondered, were there ever any dudes in porn calling themselves Malcolm? Hey, Thompson, Carmick will be hosting it tomorrow night morning, U.S. time. Yeah, it's great. Hey, Thompson, Google News AI has me a category of fast food brawls. Waffle House is like the MMA octagon. So Waffle House is the place to go for fast food fights. A. Thompson, some young girl was just murdered in Florida over some Adidas sneakers. So that's still going on. Adidas. Well, some people really like shoes, you know. Oh, let's see. Okay. There's no super tips for me to put up here, so I guess that's that. So we had a collection of Nailsin news. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right mic on for the first one, so I guess I can cut some of these up for videos later, but those I'll have to redo, which I probably won't. Damn. Oh, well, what are you going to do? It does. Yeah, if you were pissed off looking for a fight, Waffle House. It does. A Waffle House corporate released a statement on it. They said, we encourage you bring your fights to Waffle House. It is our policy to get your ass beat when the bitching starts. Because I can tell you right now, we don't want to hear it. Just take your meal, eat it, and like it. That's all we want to hear. St. Ranger says, my favorite sneakers in the 70s were Puma shoes. The Puma. Wow. All right. Well, that'll do it. So thanks for stopping by. Listen to me talk about these pathetic, horrible creatures. Except for that flight attendant. I mean, the answer is don't do drugs. Just say no to drugs. And, just don't you do that again. And give her a little spanking. Look, I am willing to volunteer to deliver her the spanking so that she'll learn her lesson. And I think that'll settle everything. She's got to wear the flight attendant outfit, though. Yes, she does. Or the deal's off. She goes to prison for 30 years. in Sri Lanka. Just, man, what a waste. Because what a cutie, you know? Oh, well. All right, everybody, have a good night, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks for watching.
Killers, killing it, killing it, killing it, killing it. Nailsin News, news, news. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News, news. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News, news.